When was what was the first stock you bought, and how old were you?
I bought American Agronomics at 27. It was an orange grove company. Within 5 days, they had a frost wiped it out.
Okay.
You know?
How old were you?
I was 27.
Okay,
and it was
27.
A learning lesson.
Yeah.
Learning lesson that oranges freeze.
Yeah. So tell us though how you got into the stock market. You obviously you went to Harvard, you went to law school,
right?
And you started selling stocks.
That was
on
at
your,
Goldman,
on
but
your
the next
answering machine.
The voicemail, yeah.
Well, what happened is, hey, I'm not here right now, but you ought to buy Monolithic Memories. And each week I had a new stock. Then finally I had a guy who made a fortune on it. He called me, gave me a check for $500,000. He'll meet you for a cup of coffee. Here's $500,000. I said, $500,000, that's a lot of money. And, the first thing I did was I lost like 30,000 of it. And I said, listen, I can mow lawns. I can do dishes because, your first sensitivity is when you lose money. But then I came back with a vengeance, started doing the right thing, started watching TV with the ticker. Had to go to law school, unfortunately. It's a major loss of time. Times suck. But I was picking stocks in an answering machine. And then I went to a Goldman Sachs meeting and Goldman hired me. And it was not easy. I had to go 10 times before I got the job.
So lawyer at Goldman Sachs, tell me the lessons that you learned at Goldman Sachs.
Well, what they did was they shifted me from law to sales and trading. The lessons were rigor. Okay, the rigor that you needed was incredible. Just to get the job, one time they called me down. It was at 12 o'clock. They said, look, sit in this closet of an office and we'll get to you when we're ready to interview you. At 5 o'clock, I came out. I opened the door. There was nobody there. Everyone had left. So I called the guy who was running the program. He goes, hey, it's Goldman Sachs. That's what we do. I said, you leave a guy in for 5 hours? He goes, hey, did I say it was easy to get a job? They bring that kind of, let's say, humiliation/expertise, and I like it. Mm-hmm. I did the same thing. When I was teaching there, I taught Friday night. I didn't like to start till 8 p.m. Friday. And what I did is I gave a test at 11 p.m., and I always posted on Monday the 5 lowest scores in the people's names.
Wow.
Because it's a learning lesson.
You are from Philly.
Oh, yeah, completely. That's a Philadelphia thing, right?
I love it. I love it.
Hard Scrabble.
So you start there, and then you go out on your own hedge fund.
Yeah.
And talk to us about the transition going from Goldman Sachs to, okay, I can go do this on my own. I can do this with, some partners and try to make it on my own.
First thing I learned was you can't choke people when you're at Goldman. You can't throw water bottles at them.
You had a famous temper.
I had a bit of a temper. I would say that I would say that I was volatile, maybe mercurial, judgmental. Okay. But, if you lost me money, I did. There was one time when I called a guy's mom, and I said, listen, your son is unacceptable behavior, and I'm going to send him home, and he needs to know from mommy tomorrow if he wants to come back to work.
This is a grown man.
Very grown. He quit the next day, and that means you didn't have to pay severance.
It's almost like the Paul O'Neill with a cooler.
One time I was having it was a bad day.
Money.
It was a bad day. The market was getting crushed. I'm looking at my wife. She doesn't like these stories. That's Lisa.
We
the
love
market
them,
was
Lisa.
getting crushed, and I was doing well. I could not believe how well. Market's down 200, 300. I said, look at my stocks. They're holding in. Turned out that my monitor was broken. Same prices. So I had to throw that at the window. Now, it's amazing. They made the window so you can't commit suicide because of 29. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I was volatile. But, what, in the end.
Bounced back at you?
Yes, indeed. It hurt my feet. But I was a sweetheart in the end because I always paid people well. I was the devil and then the sweetheart. People care about. It was a devil bargain. Mm-hmm. You made a bargain with the devil if you worked for me, and everybody kind of liked me.
The gift and the curse.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're at the hedge fund. You start also the street.
Yeah.
What makes you want to do that? You're killing it. You're crushing. You're making money. Why would you want to add more things to your plate?
Well, first, I'm a first-class masochist.
Okay.
And what I did was I had helped start Smart Money. And I realized that the web was coming in 1995. So I said, listen, why don't we do smartmoney.com? And Smart Money said, well, that'll wipe us out. I said, well, that's perfect. That's what it's supposed to do. And then I decided to do it for myself just because I didn't like being talked to like that. And I started it, and we lost a lot of money. But we finally, we lost about 125 mil, trying to set a record, right? Didn't some players for the Mets lost about 125 million? I did it with a company. Okay. But
how did you lose 125 mil?
Easily.
Yeah, walk me through that.
Well, what happens is that when you, let's say you lose like $10 million a year because you're not selling as much advertising, it tends to accumulate over time.
Yeah.
And you're paying people a lot, but we had a lot of eyeballs. See, we were like an optician. We were losing money, but ophthalmologists, but we had the eyeballs. And so people wanted us. We were hot stock. We opened at 62, went to 67, next stop $2. Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. But we held in. We were one of only about a half dozen companies that survived that period, 1999, 2000.